Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.
Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland. Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
Put it in somebody's pants and have them sit on it.
Switch on and switch off. Oh, sorry. I'll go back to my hole.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
I'm just so used to barfing right now.
I really don't see Apple ever doing that.
I am Nadella.
I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing. Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hi.
Did I mean Eeyore? And we are here to talk all things tech, you guys, for this week.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
It's so
I'm a very happy person.
exciting.
It's quite the dynamic. Here I am all nice and peppy, and we got Eeyore over here like, it works.
Yeah, I don't think I can do a very good Eeyore impression.
I was pretty darn good.
But it wasn't low enough. Like, I don't think I can get down low enough for it to, like, I don't think I can do it.
Happy to be here.
Right, see that. I don't think I can do that.
Way happy. Don't bother me. Anyway, hey, guess what, guys? Tech happened this week.
Tech
Sure.
happened.
I don't know.
A little bit.
Tech happens.
It does happen. But I thought something that was really interesting. I had a question come up. Someone asked me, what exactly is cloud?
Oh, man. My kids asked me that earlier today.
Yeah?
And so I got to explain to them all about the water cycle and evaporation.
Yeah.
And condensation and all that stuff. It was actually a lot of fun.
And then they punched Dad and said, no, that's not what we're talking about.
It's definitely what they were talking about, but...
I was asked that. They're like, what is the cloud exactly? What do I need to worry about? What is this? Is it just store my pictures? And I thought that would be an interesting topic for us to maybe take a few minutes to actually kind of just be like, exactly what this is.
Who's got the best summary of what the cloud is? I'll take a
cloud
crack.
Is a big building or lots of buildings that have lots of servers in these buildings that store your data for you.
Right.
Basically.
I think the best way for the average consumer to think about the cloud is that it is much like actual clouds in that it is very far away, difficult for you to wrap your mind around, but without it, your digital lifestyle just wouldn't work.
Yes.
I feel like that is an accurate assessment of the function of the cloud to most people.
Yes. I would definitely agree with that.
Although your very first explanation, if you go back to April 1st of last year, Google's actual cloud.
Google actual cloud. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Cloud.
That was pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, no, I just thought it'd be interesting to just kind of say what it is. Because then obviously the next question is, well, who has the best? And obviously it's like, well, who are you with now?
Right.
Who's
Well,
got your
yeah, it just
information?
all depends.
It is the interesting thing about the cloud is that the cloud as a concept is kind of as old as the internet, if that makes sense. Like the things that we refer to the cloud doing today is largely like cloud storage for files or cloud access to music and that kind of thing and TV shows and that sort of stuff. Stuff that we couldn't do in the early days of the internet, but the concept is the same. It's servers that are owned by a big company somewhere that are rented out, typically, by lots of other smaller companies that use that to send information to your home. And that's the basis of the entire internet. Like web pages are just web pages, HTML files that are stored on a remote server somewhere that you access by logging onto this thing called the internet, typing in an address that's resolved by a DNS lookup server somewhere that then goes, oh, okay, I know what this page is supposed to be. It goes to that server, it fetches that page, and then it feeds it down to your computer. That is the internet, and that is what the cloud does. But we've added a lot of capability to this, amorphous concept of what the cloud is over the past few years. We've added the ability for you to stream your movies and your music from the cloud, which means that, like a web page, you are logged into a service, you're saying, hey, I want this thing, a DNS server or some kind of server somewhere goes, oh, they want this thing, they find that thing somewhere out on the internet on a server that is far away from you, some other computer, and then they send it down to you, and your device plays it, or whatever. And cloud storage, very similar thing, except it's kind of just giving you access to a hard drive on a server, or more likely a bunch of different servers somewhere in the world.
Right.
And that's what the cloud is. The cloud is just, it's the internet. We just named it differently because we wanted to.
Yeah. And now, after that, I want to say who has the best cloud? When it comes to what Kayla was just talking about, I would have to say Amazon, since they basically host the internet.
Amazon powers a ton of the internet. It's kind of absurd.
In general, when it comes to who has the best cloud, quote-unquote cloud, it would go between Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. They've got the most infrastructure out of pretty much anybody when it comes to this type of thing.
Yep.
But in general, again, I would probably have to say Amazon because they've been doing it for a long time, and they literally host almost all of the internet.
Yeah. Basically, if it isn't powered by Amazon's AWS services, then it's powered by Microsoft's Azure.
Yeah.
And if it's not one of those two, then it's servers that are owned by some massive giant company out there that maintains it themselves, like Google. They obviously have a ton, and Google has run their own search engine off of their own servers since the beginning.
Yeah.
And so Google has had a long history of that, and Google has branched out to offering their servers to more and more people, but by and large, most of Google's infrastructure is used for powering Google's services. And Apple does use quite a lot of Amazon's services for stuff like Apple TV, iTunes. That's iTunes TV shows and stuff like that. But they also power a lot of their services using their own servers, and they don't rent that out to anybody. They can't even power all of their own servers with those things. And so, you'll come across something like that where a company like Apple or game developers, game companies like EA, like Activision Blizzard and stuff like that. Blizzard servers, Battle.net is famously powered by Blizzard. Blizzard owns and maintains and runs all of those servers themselves, which allows them the ability to do a lot of stuff that other companies can't do if they're reliant on Microsoft, for instance, for Xbox functionality.
Right.
And actually, I think Sony probably has quite a few servers as well, just tied up with the their services for PlayStation as well. So, yeah, but by and large, Amazon runs the internet as it stands, and
do we know
kind of nuts
how much by far? I don't know if you've looked at numbers or anything. Just curious. Is it 60% or is it literally 80?
It might be as much as 80%. I would hesitate to call it that high. It might be more like 60 to 70%. And then and the honest truth might be that it might be more like 40 or 50%. And then Azure is powering another 30% or something on top of that. And then the remaining 10 to 20% is made up of a whole bunch of different little companies. But little, quote unquote, Apple, small company. Google, they're tiny. But it's a big chunk.
Well, I just wanted to bring that up and to get that because I was trying to explain it and it just felt like I wasn't explaining it very well. On top of and then, so in a nutshell, what it is for us right now today definitely is our storage, the servers, the internet that you were talking about, but also the storage for our pictures, videos, or whatever you want. And it's just getting bigger. And obviously they're putting, I know Microsoft totes about this a lot, is the AI in the cloud.
Yeah.
And that itself is more on the enterprise side of things. It has a little bit with the consumer, with people that listen to our podcast, that would worry about it. They're going to be more. It's going to be more of just like that, the pictures, the games, things like that.
Right.
We go. So
right
now, it's not anything huge that we'd have to not really worry about. But I mean, that is definitely where we're heading.
Honestly, the biggest thing that AI in the cloud does for us right now is stuff that we probably do not notice or recognize at all.
Right.
Probably allows us to access files faster than we could have before. It allows us to do uploads more quickly and stuff like that because it's using artificial intelligence to manage which computers are talking to which computers and manage that data flow as efficiently as possible. That's probably the biggest thing that AI is doing for cloud functionality at the moment. It means that you can actually stream 4K Netflix no matter where you are in the country, whereas before you might have had issues with that, and so on and so forth. It's not, it's pretty opaque, and that goes back to what I said. Like, honestly, listener, for your perspective, if you're worried about the larger structure of quote unquote the cloud at this point, it is very similar to actual clouds. It's very far away. It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around. And honestly, it probably doesn't really matter whether or not you fully understand it. But without it, your digital lifestyle just doesn't work the way that you expect it to. And yeah.
Cool. Landon, do you have anything more on that?
Nope.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it'd be kind of cool to get that out there for our listeners and just talk about it. Now, I didn't. That's one thing I actually didn't know, how much Amazon ran the internet, if you will. So that I didn't actually know for sure. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they've got a bunch. It's a bunch.
Interesting. Makes sense though.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anywho, well, why don't we go ahead and let's dive into some news, shall we?
Sure.
Hey, Spenlove, since you were already talking,
super excited.
I got you all hyped up
everything.
from being
Yes,
Eeyore.
I am hyped.
Here we go.
No, I was being Eeyore because earlier today, the Los Angeles Gladiators lost to the Houston Outlaws in the Overwatch League, which may not seem that crazy to everybody, but the freaking Houston Outlaws suck. Like, they're not good. They lost earlier this week to, was it maybe it was like the Guangzhou Charge, and they're okay, but they're not one of the greatest teams in the world, and the Gladiators easily should have been able to beat them, but they lost to them, which is especially stupid considering that 2 days ago, the Gladiators beat the New York Excelsior, who are one of the top 3. In fact, I think they're currently number 2 in the league. Anyways.
What an underdog story.
It was so frustrating.
He doesn't care.
Anyways. I have a rumor.
Oh,
you want to hear my rumor?
Let's hear it.
Of all the rumors, this is the rumor that I felt was the most worthy for inclusion, listener. So you should definitely pay a lot of attention to this rumor that I'm about to tell you. I'm only being slightly sarcastic. So this is, this one, I don't know. This comes off of Apple's supply chain, which can be good rumor source, can be kind of crappy. But the rumor is that the Apple Watch that will be launching next year in 2020 is supposed to be MicroLED. Like, it's supposed to use a MicroLED screen instead of an OLED screen. Anyways, the advantage of MicroLED over OLED is, like, OLED has tiny, tiny pixels, which means you can have really robust resolutions, and the pixels are individually powered. They're light-producing pixels instead of requiring a backlight. The pixels themselves produce the light, which is great because it means really, really high dynamic range, lots of contrast, deep blacks that actually turn off pixels, which can save battery life. Lots of great things about that. OLED has some problems. Pixel response time on OLED displays pretty lousy, which makes them, hard to recommend for like gaming and that kind of thing. And burn-in. It just does not matter as long as there's nothing to do about that. It's just like, doesn't matter how sophisticated CRTs got, burn-in was always going to be a problem. And OLED, by nature of the function of the device, like the way it's designed, those are organic light-emitting diodes. Those things degrade over time and is 100% going to cause burn-in over long periods of time on any display, which is why you don't see them as computer displays that often. Because it would take like literally 15 minutes of you being a dimwit and turning off your screensaver and walking away from your computer with it turned on or something like that. And then you'd be able to see your entire desktop on that monitor for the rest of time. So OLEDs have problems. MicroLED has all of the same advantages as OLED. Pixels that are tiny, tiny, tiny can have really high resolutions and produce their own light, which means that you get the really high dynamic contrast, you get all this, but doesn't have the longevity issues that OLED has. So, if this rumor turns out to be true, that will make the Apple Watch the first premium high-volume micro-LED device out there. I highly doubt that anything with anything like the volume of the Apple Watch will be releasing with a micro-LED screen before next year. So, if that turns out to be true, that'll be the first time we'll see it. We'll be able to get to see them in the wild. We'll be able to see how the resolution stacks up against OLED and how the functionality of the thing stacks up against OLED. So, pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Now, actual piece of news. Okay. iOS 12.4 released this past week. That's not whatever. It's like the last version of iOS 12 we're going to see before iOS 13 launches in the fall. So at this point, it's mostly just bug fixes and stuff like that. But they did introduce, just kind of on the sly, a new feature that nobody really noticed. Wireless data transfer between iOS devices is now a thing. So that when you go, like, it's been this way for a while. When you go to set up a new iPhone, for instance, and I did this with my current iPhone, you turn the thing on, you sign in to your Apple ID, and then if your old iPhone is sitting next to it, it's going to ask if you want to use that to set up your new phone. What that does is it pulls all of your settings and all of your stuff like that over from your old iPhone, and then your new iPhone is ready to go, blank slate, ready for you to install apps and start getting everything else set up outside of the operating system. It's a nice little time saver.
Yeah.
This new version of that functionality, if you've got it close to your old phone and you sign in with your Apple ID, it's going to ask if you want to transfer everything. All your pictures, all your apps, everything, the same way as restoring from an iCloud backup would do. So, that's nice. That's even more of a time savings if if you don't want to set up your phone from scratch, you just want to copy everything over from the old one, you just sign in with your Apple ID, and then boom, it all starts coming over. You just leave the two phones close to each other for however long it takes, and there you go.
Yes, I heard this news. I was like, that's about time they do this.
That's really nice.
Yes. It's a nice time savings.
And it makes it so you don't have to use iTunes if you don't want to pay for iCloud storage.
Hey.
Which is what I had to do with my wife's phone every time, was back it up to iTunes. Which worked, and it worked really easy. It wasn't difficult. It's just iTunes.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yep.
It took longer to open up iTunes, make it or have it check automatically for a download that I'm not going to download, and then get things going than it took to actually transfer things to iTunes, transfer it back to the new phone. That's easy. It's just iTunes itself.
But you've got a Mac now. The next version of Mac OS won't even have iTunes.
I'm so happy.
You'll be able to use the Finder for that stuff. So,
true. Well, I don't have to anymore.
Well, right. It's kind of like they introduced this great feature to Mac OS, you'll never have to use iTunes for all of this crap again. We're all like, yay! And then they do this, which is all it just doesn't matter. I mean, I guess if you're trading in the phone or something like that, then that's still useful. You plug it into the Mac, you make the backup via Finder, then you take the phone to your cellular carrier or whatever, trade the thing in, get your new phone, take it home, plug it in. There you go. But if you buy the phones outright like I do, and you're going to have both phones sitting right next to each other when you activate your new phone anyways, that's going to save some time.
Yeah, it's very nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wish I could do that with my PC hard drive.
Oh, Malanta.
Wouldn't that be nice?
They need to fix that crap in Windows, I swear.
I know. I still can't put Windows on my SSD.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
I literally just wish I could be oh, we see you have this. Do you want to just transfer all of everything just right over? I'm like, please, that would be nice.
Yeah. Well, so Mac OS, for going on a decade now, has had that functionality.
Yes, it has.
It's called the Migration Assistant. You literally, if you've got two computers next to each other, you just plug them into each other and say, I want to transfer everything from this computer to this computer via Migration Assistant, and it does it just over an Ethernet connection. Piece of cake.
Not going to lie, I've used that feature to get some pretty good software.
Well,
listener, don't do that.
Yeah.
Although, I mean,
We're gonna
he's gonna throw this one under the table.
move
for
right on. We don't encourage you doing anything that violates the end user license agreement of any of your software and operating systems.
That's how I got the first version of Photoshop that I used.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That's fair.
I wish that would be the easiest, best thing.
Yes.
You could have Cortana yell at me
Yes.
at the very beginning. That's fine.
Seriously.
Help me with this.
Like, it's just, it's ridiculous. And, like, even if you want to just, like, transfer everything, like, you want to move your installation media from the internal hard drive of whatever to an external hard drive that is plugged into the thing, you can do that with Migration Assistant. You just open up Migration Assistant and say, hey, I want to copy my entire boot drive over here. And you can. The reason Microsoft doesn't do it is because Windows is a product. Mac OS is not a product.
Right.
Mac OS is a perk to the hardware that you paid an enormous amount of money for.
Yes.
And so you get free updates and a free operating system that is constantly supported. That's a perk.
I don't know. It seems like it might be changing because I don't think they look at Windows the same as Steve Ballmer.
Well,
That's
it
true.
is true. I mean, Windows 10, if you had Windows 8 or 7, you did get a free upgrade for a year. You have to pay for it now. But, I mean, they did that. I mean, when they announced that, I was like, holy crap, hell's frozen over.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it was somebody. So Apple is never going to. It's going to be on my wish list until the end of time. But Mac OS 11 is never going to happen. They're not going to release that. They're just going to continually update Mac OS as a service. We're not going to see major ground-shaking revisions like we have in the past. I think that Windows has gotten to that point. I think that Windows 10 is a service. They're going to continue every 6 months. You're going to get those bigger updates with feature additions and stuff like that rolling out. Microsoft is just going to try and get you into their services, and that's how they're going to make money off of
100%.
you. Not by selling you the operating system, but by giving you an operating system and then trying to make their services that you subscribe to the best part of that operating system, something that you want to pay for. And so I think that honestly, Windows 10 is going to get the Mac OS branding treatment as soon as Windows 7 and Windows 8 are no longer supported, which Windows 7 support is coming to an end shortly.
End of this year.
Yeah, and Windows 8 and 8.1, I would be willing to
shouldn't
bet
be supported at all.
I was going to say, I think that
nobody's on them anymore. I think that support for those is probably going to end, like, I don't know, give it another year or two.
Yep.
And as soon as that's over, they're just going to drop the 10. It's just Windows. Here's Windows. And there's no version number to it or anything like that. And we're never going to see these operating systems have those major revisions like we have in the past. I think
they're just going to full-on copy Apple and just call it Windows 10 with an X.
See, Apple finally backed off of that,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy they did. Like,
There's still a lot of people that call it Mac OS X, though.
It's true. I still do it periodically. I will still call it OS X because I got so used to doing that.
So did a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. So, but yeah, that's... How did we even get onto that? What was I talking about?
I wanted to copy my hard drive on my PC.
Oh, right. Wireless data transfer.
Yes.
Yeah. And so by the time we get to that point, when Windows has fully become a service and they're no longer charging for Windows installation keys, then, yeah, they'll probably build in a tool that allows you to automatically just transfer stuff from one computer to another.
So nice.
One hard drive to another. But until then, you're stuck using like the free version of Carbon Copy Cloner, which works, but is like the most opaque and difficult to use thing on the planet. Okay, maybe not on the planet, but it's pretty bad.
Yes. It is no A software. It's probably like a C, rough C minus D plus software.
Yeah, I suspect it's probably a lot easier if you actually pay for the thing. But if you don't,
maybe.
Yeah, it's like a $70 license or something like that. And if you're not constantly moving data from one computer to another, like
there's no point.
Yeah, like what the heck? Somebody who runs a computer repair shop and constantly needs to like take a customer's old hard drive and move it to a new SSD or something like that, that would be the only person that would actually want to pay for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyways.
No, but when that comes, I'm going to be so happy.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, last piece of Apple news. Apple acquires Intel's cellular modem assets.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a thing that happened. It was rumored. It's been rumored for a couple of months. Well, Intel has had their cellular modem business on the market for months. And there were some rumors that Apple was in talks with them to buy it, which, considering Apple was partnered with Intel to provide cellular modems for their phones for a couple of years, makes sense. There's not really much to say about it beyond the fact that Apple is just trying to build everything. Like, they want to design everything in-house. Absolutely everything.
What do they have, though? Like, exactly, like Intel has that they would want, other than, like, honestly, like, what?
Patents.
Is that it?
Probably. Though, to be fair, they are also, from what I understand, getting a good chunk of the design team for Intel's modems. They're getting actual employees and talent.
They're going to want the patents and the employees, because that's a lot of engineers that Apple just all of a sudden gets that are going to start designing.
Yeah,
probably the modems, but also they're going to be put into the silicon team as well.
Yep.
And that's going to make their processors even better.
They're already on a team with each other. They're already organized. They know how to work together.
Yeah.
So that's going to save Apple a lot of time when trying to spin up their own designs of cellular modems, which, frankly, the rumor says now that the purchase has actually happened, we've moved from the purchase being rumored to rumored results of that purchase. And supposedly, an insider said, but who knows who that was, they want a 5G modem built in-house by 2021. So they're giving this team 2 years to have a 5G modem that they can slap in there. I suspect we'll probably see 5G Qualcomm modems in the 2020 iPhones. But, 2021, they want to be away from Qualcomm for their modems. And they want them all built in-house, which, honestly, not surprising. There was somebody that pointed out that Apple has actually signed like a 5-year agreement with Qualcomm to provide modems for their cell phones. So they may not actually be doing that. My thought is that we might actually see cellular data support on an A-series powered laptop, MacBook, using Apple's own modems, because I can pretty much guarantee that laptops were not a part of the agreement that Apple signed with Qualcomm. So, like that seems reasonable to me, that in 2021, that can be where we see that 5G modem launching. Is 2020, we see A-series powered MacBook Air.
Yeah.
And then 2021, A-series powered MacBook Air with an Apple designed cellular modem built in. That's what I'm kind of thinking might happen.
Are you excited for this?
I have never had a problem with Apple's in-house design chips. They do what they're supposed to do. They do them well. They do them efficiently. And it is a part of Apple's whole mantra that the products that work the best are the products where everything was like built to work with every other piece of the product. They were all designed with each piece of the puzzle in mind, as opposed to issues that you have when you're using products from other companies. Is you drop something in there and you're like, sure, this does 80 to 90% of what we want it to do the way we want it to do it, but there's this other 10% kind of sitting over here on the side that you're all like, yeah, that's great. Which is, laptops that have a discrete GPU and integrated graphics because they're running an Intel processor. It's not really any way around that.
Right.
They just have the integrated graphics. Some companies try to make that work where they have the whole, like Apple does this, for instance, where under low power usage, where they want to save battery, it'll use the integrated graphics instead of the discrete graphics to power graphic tasks. But then as soon as you start going, I need more graphical oomph, it'll ramp up the discrete graphics chip and stop using the integrated graphics. There's still compromises to that because just the switching back and forth between the two and yada, yada, yada. So I think that, Apple has traditionally done a good job when their hardware is all designed together. You end up with, honestly, the iPhone has consistently been one of the most powerful phones the whole time, basically. They are consistently at the top, beating Qualcomm. And not necessarily in raw power, always, though lately, in raw power, but it always was beating it in terms of the overall user experience, just because everything was designed together. And I think that having a 5G modem built the same way to work just in iPhones and just in Apple's products with Apple's processor is going to probably give Apple's customers the best experience possible. And as an Apple customer, I'm all about that.
I'm all about it. No, that's good.
What I want to see from this, I have a hard time seeing this happen, but what I wish would happen is that because Apple's going to be making their own 5G modems, it means in a sense, competition for Qualcomm, but not really. Because, I mean, this is what I want to see, is Apple selling that to other manufacturers. I don't see that happening, but I would love to, because it puts pressure on Qualcomm and it makes prices for these things get cheaper.
Yeah.
Because that's Apple's biggest thing with Qualcomm is the price, because nobody else sells them.
Yep.
Or if they do, they're paying Qualcomm still, because Qualcomm owns all the patents for everything, at least in 4G.
Yeah.
And some 5G stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean, if Apple were to do that, it would be smart for both them because they can make money off of it, and it'd be smart for everyone else to start potentially buying from them, because then it's a fair market that way, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's always just been Qualcomm.
Yep.
And that's why we are where we are now, because Qualcomm just does it their own way, and they say, if you're not going to do it with us, too bad, you don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you're not getting a modem from Qualcomm at this point, like Intel's modems were always inferior to Qualcomm's in terms of performance. Their 4G modems just weren't as good, but they were close. They were close enough for most people. The only other options, I believe, MediaTek does manufacture modems. They are in use in quite a few Chinese phones, and they suck. They're just terrible. That's MediaTek's business, is they make low-powered, low-functionality chips for really cheap. And okay, yeah, sure, that works fine. But you're not going to get any competition in the premium space, and that's where Qualcomm sits. We're the best, and nobody's even close to us. And Apple tried to make Intel competitive by just dumping money at them, and it didn't work. Intel, I think it didn't work probably more than anything because Intel just didn't want it to. Intel was not as invested in it as Apple was, and Intel has had their own problems with the golden horse over the past few years.
Yeah.
The golden goose has stopped pooping eggs in Intel's lap, and they need to figure that crap out. And trimming some fat in terms of the programs like their modem business, that makes sense to me. I understand that move.
That was the other thing I thought of when I saw this. Okay, maybe that means Intel's computer CPUs or processors and everything can start getting better again. Because
be nice?
They're not trying to focus so much effort on doing things in the mobile sphere, because they've tried and it's obviously failed miserably. And so because of that, there's less focus on the computer side of things, and so that's suffered as well.
Yeah.
Not as drastic as the mobile side, obviously. But it's still, I mean, we've been talking for the past month. You look at what AMD is doing, and they're just destroying Intel.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's...
It's
ridiculous.
They're splitting their focus, and, quality can suffer when a company is splitting their focus. So that makes a lot of sense for Intel. I'm with you, Landon. I kind of doubt that we will see Apple selling these modems to anybody else, but it might get other companies to have the gumption to go, oh, maybe we should start licensing patents from Apple instead of from Qualcomm, or in addition to Qualcomm, building our own modems based off of that. And if the two companies are competing with each other for patent licensing, that will bring Qualcomm's licensing prices down. And then we'll give companies like Samsung the ability to design and build their own modems, and then Samsung would sell them. Samsung does sell the Exynos processor, don't they?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. But it would not be out. Samsung makes a lot of stuff it sells to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Flash NAND, panels, batteries, everything.
You almost can't find a phone that doesn't have something from Samsung in it.
Yeah, that's
It's kind of like you can't find a phone without something from Sony, because they make all the lenses.
Right, yeah.
For every camera.
Exactly. So, that we could see something like that happening. And honestly, the more diversity happening in any kind of technology sphere, the better.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, that's how capitalism is supposed to work. And as a tech consumer, capitalism is your best friend, except in internet service providers. Because what capitalism has resulted with there is a whole bunch of regional monopolies, and that kind of sucks. But other than that, there just aren't enough wireless internet providers that cover my house. I'm so upset. freaking, it's just Rise. It's
Has
just Rise.
Wi-Fi hasn't hit you
No,
yet?
it hasn't hit me yet. They're like literally like 3/4 of a mile south. They just need to put up one freaking tower, and they would cover me, and I would sign up in a heartbeat.
And they would cover me as well.
I would pay my stupid cancellation fees with Comcast just to sign up with them. Like, I swear.
Have you seen the map of that?
Yeah, it's like
one. Do you see where I am, and then all the surrounding areas get it? But
that's Comcast. Yeah.
No, that's Wi-Fi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's going to everyone else. My place. I know.
Yeah,
that's because you live in a hole.
Well,
yeah,
literally.
it's true. Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. So, anyways, anyway, outside of ISPs. Capitalism is a tech consumer's best friend. When you have multiple companies competing with each other inside of a sphere, that capitalism really does work in that instance, and that's why, like right now, is a great time to buy a mid-range graphics card or a processor, a CPU, because Intel is dropping prices on older stuff because, holy crap, please stop, AMD, stop. And AMD obviously is making all this great stuff that you can totally get. AMD has finally started competing in the mid-range graphics card segment with the 5700, 5700 XT, and that means that NVIDIA has released some updates with the super cards and stuff like that that give you better price for performance and is definitely better off for the consumer. And in those spaces, everything's working great. And you can look, Intel's business of the past 7-8 years is a good example of what happens when capitalism fails because there is no competition in the space. And NVIDIA's business in especially the high tier graphics segment, good example of what happens when there's no competition. So yes, I would love to see some competition with Qualcomm in that space. I feel like actually Qualcomm has their processors, they've gotten better about their processors over the past few years because of Apple's A-series chips. They're not selling them to anyone, but that is such a huge chunk of the smartphone market that Apple owns, obviously. And Qualcomm trying to compete with the feature set of Apple's phones so that the people buying Qualcomm processors can compete with iPhones in terms of feature set. And Samsung, who is a Qualcomm customer in the United States.
But outside, they have their own chips that are just as good or better in some cases than Qualcomm's.
Yep. And so, companies like that have been able to give Qualcomm some competition in the processor space. And honestly, Apple and Samsung have the ability to give them competition in the modem space as well. But like you said, since Qualcomm owns so many of the patents for 4G, it hasn't really been the case until 5G. So
it's cheaper just to use Qualcomm instead of pay their licensing, which is
so stupid. It's retarded.
I hate Qualcomm.
And that's why Qualcomm is in court right now with the FTC.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that goes for them. But that is all the Apple news. It would be really exciting to see some good competition come for Qualcomm's modems in this space, and possibly by, the next 4 or 5 years, we could see that in the mobile space.
Awesome. No, that's good information. Exciting news for that. I was wondering how much did they purchase Intel's?
No exact numbers were announced, but theoretically about $1 billion.
Gotcha.
So not Apple's largest purchase, but it's up there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Pocket change for Apple.
It is. They have enough money.
They probably paid cash.
They probably did. they have enough.
They put it in a bunch of briefcases and rolled up to Intel. Here you go. That would be neat.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
That would.
I'm sure it was a money transfer. They have enough money sitting in, just cash money, sitting in banks around the world that they could straight up buy every ship in the U.S. Navy. Just buy them.
Why not? And just put the Apple logo on them.
Yeah, and then rent them back to the U.S. Navy.
Oh, jeez.
We don't need the government in any more debt. Please, no. Gosh.
It's a service for a low monthly price.
Well, that's what he said. Buy them from them so they get out of debt.
Right, and then they have to... Oh, that would be hilarious.
Oh,
they just get into more debt. I mean, yeah, that kind of thing. Getting the U.S. government out of the debt that they're in only works if they stop spending money that they don't have. Which, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
So,
anywho, let's talk about tech instead of the government.
Yes, please.
Please.
Landon, what do you got for us?
Okay, I actually have some Google news, which the first thing is actually kind of interesting in a weird way. So, Google is apparently going around asking people for their face data.
No.
Yeah. No, really.
No, I'm telling them no.
So what
Google,
they're doing
you can't have it.
is there's Google employees walking around California, like asking people, "Hey, can we use this device and get some data from you? We'll give you." They're offering $5 Amazon gift cards or Starbucks gift cards. So apparently, your face is worth $5 to Google. And what people are thinking this is getting data for their version of Face ID.
Yeah, probably.
More than likely. That is going to be coming on the Pixel 4. Kind of interesting. A very interesting way of going about doing this, especially since, they have this little thing called Google Photos that's got billions upon billions of photos of people's faces that they actually offer a service inside of Google Photos that recognizes people's faces that it can automatically put into an album for you.
But those aren't 3D.
True. That is one thing they are doing with this, is they are taking pictures of people at multiple angles.
Yep. Because in order to have the security of
nice.
Face ID, it has to be a 3D scan.
Right.
So.
But I mean, there's... I don't know.
We say it's a weird way to do that because it definitely sounds like a weird...
the right way to do it, the best way to do it.
I'll bet you Apple did the same thing, and we just had no idea why they were doing it. And everyone's all like, what the crap is this all about?
People, that's the other thing, is these employees are saying, hey, I work for Google and doing this. The Apple guys probably was like, hey, can I do this for you? And I'll give you $10 or something like that.
Yeah, in fact, they were probably working under like a shell company or something like that. So that it would
probably would.
Yeah, I'm working for like something analytics or something, and we're doing a survey of something, and yada yada yada. Here's a $5 Amazon gift card, and can I scan your face?
Yeah, Apple hired a company that hired another company to do this for him, whereas Google's just like, hey, I work for Google. Sign this paper. Give me your face.
Honestly,
here's $5.
Apple's like relation to the company that actually did the data gathering was probably very similar to like Luis from the Ant-Man movies. Like one of his descriptions of how he got information, it was probably one of those. And actually, I kind of want to hear it now.
I don't think he... Have you seen Ant-Man?
No,
he doesn't.
You haven't seen it? Oh, Wes,
I got
you
that,
know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Listener, you've seen Ant-Man. You know what I'm talking about.
We've had this conversation. I'm like 6 years behind on Marvel movies.
I can't ever remember how far behind you are.
It's a long... Just
assume you haven't seen anything.
Just pretend he hasn't seen any. No, I get what you're saying, and I would second that. Here's $5, Caleb. Here's an Amazon gift card. Make it happen.
Gonna need to do that.
But yeah, so it's interesting, and again, it's probably the best way that they could be doing this, and I'm okay with it in that sense. And it also makes me more excited for the Pixel 4.
Oh yeah,
because I'm going to go against what I said last week or 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to talk about a Pixel 4 rumor, kind of. So some screen protectors have leaked that are potentially showing what's in that giant top bezel, and it's basically like 85 different sensors for something like Face ID.
Yeah.
And if that is what they end up doing, it makes it more okay that they have that giant of a bezel. It's not it's not giant, but compared to what has been coming out on phones, it's giant.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what you're talking about.
Listener, he's holding up a Razer phone, and in case you haven't seen those things, they have all the bezels.
They stole Samsung's bezels.
Like literally, they have all of the bezels on any modern smartphone. Like that's why modern smartphones don't have any bezels, is because the Razer phone took them all.
Yes,
but yeah. So if the Pixel 4 does do all this functionality, and if they're doing it right, which based on the sensors the cutouts we're seeing on these screen protectors, I think they are. They're at least better than what OnePlus and Samsung are doing.
Oh yeah,
where it's a camera.
It's literally just a 2D camera.
Yeah, I mean their technology is a whole lot better than it used to be. Samsung and OnePlus, but it's still not Face ID.
It's nowhere near as secure. It just can't be.
Yeah. So I mean, if this comes to the Pixel 4. That's awesome. I'm all on board with this. And where the renders of the Pixel 4 have come out with no fingerprint sensor, they need something.
Yeah. Well, and I got to say, Face ID is, I don't know, it's basically magic, I swear. Yeah. Every time I pick my phone up and look at it, it's just open. It's ready for me. And then other people pick it up, and like I have to enter my passcode in after they do it because they look at it, it fails to recognize their face like 5 times in a row, and then it's all like, nope, no Face ID anymore. And I'm like,
yeah. It's
because my kid picked up my phone. It's not my... But But yeah, it's great.
Yeah. All right. So next little bit of Google news. This is not something normally I would talk about, but I thought it was kind of interesting. So the Google Calculator app that comes by default on Google Pixel phones. I don't know if it's probably not the default calculator app on any other Android phone, but you can download it from the Play Store. But this next update that's coming out, when you go to, or when you have a decimal number come up, it will now also show a fraction.
Whoa.
Which, to most people, that's probably not a big deal. But for me, I'm actually very excited about this because in my job, I do a decent amount of math, and I need fractions. I don't need decimals in a lot of cases. I need fractions, so I have to do more math after I figure, like, wait a minute, okay, what's going on here? This is not the number I need. Yep. But now it's going to give me that. I'm excited for that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. You worked with me.
I did.
You know. So, listener, you probably don't care about this, but I'm excited, so that's why I wanted to talk about it. I'm looking forward to this update.
I bet there's quite a few people that are excited.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different career positions that do need fractions, and they probably just use different ways of doing this math or do it in their head. I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember when teachers said we'd never carry calculators with us?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so many math teachers were wrong. I actually really appreciate. I was
Caleb's
thinking about
dad
this.
was wrong.
He probably was. I actually really appreciate this, like, about my teachers that I had for math in high school. So my sophomore and junior year, math 1050, 1060, algebra 2, and not trig. I don't know.
Etc.
Whatever. Some other math thing. I just, like, both of my teachers in both of those classes, 2 different teachers, they both answered the question, when are we going to need this? Like, why can't I just use a calculator on this test? Why can't I, like, why? And they did not say it by, you're not always going to have a calculator when you need to do math. They said it, I don't know, because the state wants you to do it that way. Like, honestly, if you have a job where you are doing this kind of math regularly, you're going to have a freaking graphing calculator in your desk at all times. And, like, you're going to carry stuff around with you and that kind of thing. And I actually had one of my teachers point out, most cell phones come with a calculator on them now. And they did. It was a really basic calculator, like not even a scientific calculator, just using the number pad. But now we have flipping, like, you can download an app that will mimic a TI-89 on any phone. Like, it's nuts.
You can just ask Google, Siri, or even Cortana, for that matter, to do a math problem for you, and they will get it. They will do it.
It's true. In
even
fact,
graphing stuff, they'll do it for you.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that both of those teachers just straight up acknowledged the fact that the reason we were not allowed to use calculators on tests, or we weren't allowed to use certain types of calculators on tests, was because the state said we couldn't. Not because we weren't going to be able to use them in the future, but just because the state said it. And, like, I honestly had it, like, one of those teachers was just like, frankly, use whatever calculator you want to do. The stuff that you're being tested on, like the ability to apply this math that you are learning, that's what I care about. That's what I want to make sure you know, is how to apply it. And whether or not you use a calculator in that application does not matter to me. And that was fantastic, because that was also the same time that I was taking AP Physics, and I had a TI-89 graphing calculator and could do everything. Like, literally, like, that thing did differential calculus. You just plug it in and hit return, and it spits out the correct answer. It was the best thing ever. But yeah, so that really made that math class a whole heck of a lot easier, which is good, because otherwise I wouldn't have passed it.
It's just funny. I do remember a couple teachers saying,
"Oh yeah,
like, you're never gonna have a calculator always in your pocket." I'm like, well,
yeah. Which, to be fair, all the teachers I remember saying that were, like, basketball coaches and football coaches. They were not actually math teachers.
True.
The teachers I'm talking about, they had doctorates in math. That was what they did, was math. And they're like, I always have a calculator on me. I can't imagine anybody who does this math for a living would not always have a calculator on them.
Anyway, sorry for that tangent. It's just funny. You brought that up, saying I always having that in my pocket. It's nice. I'm like, I just remember teachers telling me I would never have that in my pocket.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right, now on to some Samsung news.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually, I'm going to say it's good news, but it's news.
It's news.
So they've announced that the Galaxy Fold is going to be coming in September. They didn't give it a specific date, but it is coming in September.
Which means the end of September.
Which means the end of September. Although they did, I don't know if they specified September of this year. They just said September.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I'm sure it's this year, but that would be funny.
That would be hilarious.
No, we said
Did
September.
we say September? We didn't say September 2019. What are you talking about?
We just said September.
We just said
It's
September.
coming
they would
some
do
September.
That. They would do that. They would.
Oh my gosh, that
It's
would be
coming
hilarious.
September 2023.
That would be amazing.
Oh, jeez.
But they did say what has been fixed, and so I want to go through and read what they said. And it's basically everything that needed to be fixed. We'll see if it's actually fixed correctly.
Right.
I would hope so, but you never know. So they said the top protective layer of the Infinity Flex display has been extended beyond the bezel, making it apparent that it is an integral part of the display structure and not meant to be removed, which, again, should have been done first.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Yay.
Also, Galaxy Fold features additional reinforcements to better protect the device from external particles while maintaining its signature foldable experience.
That's good.
Yes. The top and bottom of the hinge area have been strengthened with newly added protective caps. Additional metal layers underneath the Infinity Flex display have been included to reinforce the protection of the display, and the space between the hinge and body of Galaxy Fold has been reduced.
Good.
So, yes.
Golf clap, everyone. Golf clap.
Yes, pretty much. So, in theory, this phone now should work properly.
Yeah.
In theory.
The fact that they put caps on the top and bottom of the hinge is like, that's my biggest thing. I can't fathom who looked at the finished design, the first design that they tried to send to the public of this thing and went, yeah, these giant holes at the top and bottom of that's fine. That's not going to be a problem.
No.
Nobody ever has dirt in or around their pockets ever. Nobody ever drops their phone on the ground. Like, come on. Nobody eats while their phone is sitting anywhere near them on a table.
No.
Like, what the heck? Have you people ever used a smartphone?
You know, in their defense, I keep my phone in a glass box.
You're evidently not the only one. Everybody at Samsung apparently does the same.
Apparently. But yeah, so that I'm actually somewhat excited about. I'm hesitantly excited about this because
Cautiously
again,
optimistic.
yes, I do want to see something new in the phone sphere because we've just had a freaking brick for 10 plus years now. I want something different, and this is different.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the right different, but it's different. It's better than some things that we've seen that
Someone's
have tried
doing
to be
something.
different. But yes, somebody is doing something, and I like the way it's going. Also, because the technology that's being used with the flexible OLED displays, that's cool. Someone brought up they were hoping that someone would make, like LG, should make a phone that rolls up because they have a roll-up TV. Why can't they do it with a phone? And that would be awesome.
It would.
It would be so cool. It's not going to happen for another 10 years, probably, at least. But that would be awesome.
Right?
Wow.
I mean, like, seriously. Just a little scroll. It would be a scroll. You'd have a little tube in your pocket. You pull out and whoop, there's your
You have a
thing.
tube of chapstick in your pocket. You unroll it. It's a phone.
Yes.
And it's like a snap bracelet where it just holds in place
Yeah.
until it wants to roll back in.
And then you just kind of hit the screen, and you tap the screen too hard, and it just slides back in. You're like, oh, crap.
I didn't finish.
I wasn't done
like
with that
accidentally
phone call.
cancel a video call or something like that. That would be amazing. I want that phone to exist, though. Seriously,
No,
that would
yeah.
be super dope.
I just want Stark Tech.
Yeah.
Tony
No,
Stark.
yeah,
I just
okay,
want
yes.
Stark
I
Tech.
want holograms. I want
That-
hologram.
I want.
Yeah. I mean, also with this, I really am also hoping that Motorola fulfills their claims of a Razr phone.
Oh yeah,
That folds into, like, it's basically like what the old Razr was, but it opens up to a smartphone.
yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be
That's
dope.
kind of what I actually want with foldable phones.
yes.
The Fold is more of a foldable tablet that goes into a phone
Yes,
because of the size. Same with the Huawei Mate X. It's a tablet that folds down to a phone.
Yep.
Whereas the Motorola Razr as has been rendered by people that that Motorola stole from, it looks like like an old flip phone that folds open to a smartphone.
Yeah.
And
that would be super
makes the most sense.
Yes.
For a phone, at least.
Please.
For most people, because that'll fit in most people's pockets.
No,
whereas
that
like the Fold and the Mate X are freaking huge when they're folded up.
Yeah.
They're thick.
Yeah. It's like the size of a modern smartphone times 2 plus a little bit because there's an air gap on the edge.
And because it's 2 smartphones folded on top of each other.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, at least Samsung's is smaller. It's a tighter curvature fold than the Royal FlexPi, which is like legitimately like I don't know how to describe that thing. It's like a can of soda in your pocket.
It's huge. So I watched a video. Marquez Brownlee made a video of that phone. He had to somehow get it imported because it's not for sale in the U.S. Yeah. He had to get it imported, and he did a review on it. And he's now determined that that's the wrong way to make a foldable phone, which is funny because that's the way Huawei made their phone with the screen on the outside. He's like, they should have done it on the inside.
To
it
be
actually
fair,
makes more sense.
I think that the fact that the Royal FlexPi kind of sucks might be coloring his opinion a bit.
True, but at the same time, I mean, the software that they some of the things that they've done with it are kind of cool. What it can do, but you're right. I mean,
the implementation is just terrible. It's just bad.
I mean, I think Huawei could do a much better job, and they probably worked with Google because it's actually running Android. Well, Google's a legitimate version
of Android. It has the Play Store.
Yes, the FlexPi does not have the Play Store or Google services of any matter. So
it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, it's a Chinese phone.
Yeah,
legitimate Chinese phone.
It really is the dumbest thing. But they are technically the first to market with the thing.
True,
because Samsung had to delay.
Yeah.
But
yes, so September, supposedly fixed folds. So we'll see.
I'm not sure if it's this September, but we'll just say that.
Yeah. I'm, again,
September.
Cautiously optimistic, somewhat excited about this. I want to see where it goes.
So
that's my thing. I don't know so much about this phone or the Mate X. I want to see where it goes. I want to see where this leads, because if we didn't have the first Note phone that everyone made fun of, including myself, we wouldn't have what we have now, which are bigger than those Note phones.
Yes.
So Samsung, someone's got to do it, and Samsung is fine with being that someone in most cases.
So basically, we need to wake Landon up when September ends so that he can see the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm done. I'm done. Your turn, Wes.
Oh my gosh.
Let's just end right there.
Oh, jeez.
I've been waiting like 5 minutes to use that line. Anyways.
That's what you've been hopping up and down in your chair for? Oh,
I'm so excited for this bad joke that our listener probably didn't even get because they're probably younger than that or something like. Anyways.
Side tangent. I do hear Green Day on a classic rock station all the time, and it makes me sad.
Oh. Doesn't it make you cringe?
Yes.
Yes.
We're not that old.
Especially
both that it's
that
classic
album.
and rock. Like, I'm sorry.
Especially that album.
Yeah. It came out in 2000?
5.
No, it's not. Is it 2005?
I think it was.
Either way, still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rock.
Though, to be fair, I remember 80s music being on the classic rock stations in the late 90s. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. We're just at that age, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
let's just get more depressing from here on out.
Let's go ahead and move on. Something I found interesting, and I apologize, listener, that I did not know about LinkedIn using their very own LinkedIn servers and not Microsoft Azure, even after being purchased.
Oh, really?
So, LinkedIn now announced the multi-year migration to Azure.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, apparently they had their own data servers and everything, and Microsoft just kind of was like, yeah, sure. Just do your thing.
Keep doing you.
What's really happening is Microsoft is just installing their own software onto LinkedIn's servers. They're not transferring anything.
That's actually probably true.
Well, going through this, I was doing a little more research. I was like, okay, what are they doing? Are they actually just going to turn their servers into Azure servers? What are they doing exactly? And no, they pretty much are going to take all their data and everything, move it over to Azure. And they said in here they're not sure what they're going to do with those data centers, but but they are right now. They are not going to lay anybody off for those data centers for the time being.
It seems like the wrong way to do this.
Doesn't it though?
Maybe it's the kind of thing where they're going to. It would be easier to maintain the uptime and of the service to move it all to Azure as it stands now, and then once it's all it's no longer reliant on those data centers, then take those data centers down, convert them to Azure data centers, and then bring it all back up.
I'm assuming, hopefully, that in some way, roundabout way, it's that.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, this bank of servers is now not doing anything. Let's update those.
Yeah, let's
transfer over. This bank's now done. That's...
I don't know.
I don't know. It just seems like a weird way of doing it.
It's all a highly distributed system. I don't know.
Obviously, they know a whole lot more than we do about this, but that still seems odd.
That's true.
That this is the way they're doing it.
Well, it's just... Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, okay...
I'm not going to tell Microsoft how to spend their own money. I don't care.
Right. But, I mean, it's happening. So,
okay.
Fair enough.
That's probably not going to affect my use of LinkedIn, which is I don't.
Yeah.
I do have a profile, but I don't really use it.
Yeah, same.
So do I.
I signed into it the other day and had 30 different job offers from people in Texas. And I'm like, I'm not moving to Texas. What the?
No, I get ones that are just like, hey, congratulate Landon for being at his job for another year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thumb up.
That's pretty much how my notifications are, too. I don't
those.
get job offers, Caleb.
No, I do get some job offers, but they're like, hey, we're a startup down in Salt Lake City that we need a CNC machinist. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
I like having a steady job.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. All right, moving on. So... Listener, if you are a Windows insider, Windows 10 insider, and you just got an update and noticed that live tiles are no longer there and they are replaced, well, you are now messing with the new version of Windows 10 where live tiles may not be there.
Oh. Interesting.
Now,
Yay!
I've done a little more research on this just to kind of be like, okay, is it this? What is it? This sounds like this is going to be that modern OS light thing. But they just kind of, someone at Microsoft said, all rings get this. Not just the internal, small ring. No, everyone got it. So,
cool.
Have fun with that. Basically, that's basically what it is. It's just there's no live tiles. Everything's been, your start button that would normally have the live tiles just has icons.
You know what, though? That's what I've been wanting since Windows 8 launched, so...
Yeah, I mean, we're basically going back to what it was. Not exactly
entirely,
what it was, but very similar.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be a lot cleaner. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the live tiles was it can be useful if you're using them correctly, but you got to do the work to make them useful.
Yes.
If you just open it up and look at it, it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
That's a lot of things happening right there.
Yeah, everybody deletes Candy Crush
Totally
Saga.
Useless. Right? Why is that always there?
Money.
WTF?
Microsoft has paid a lot of money.
So, I agree. The live tiles that are just there by default pop up, the vast majority of people don't actually want hardly any of those.
Yeah.
But there's enough of a hassle to removing them and organizing them and stuff like that I would be willing to bet most people also don't actually do that. So they probably just leave them there. And
it just means more people use desktop space instead of
they just put icons on the desktop for everything that they want. I'd be willing to bet that happens. I'm sitting over here, I'm the dude who I use my desktop on my computer the way I use my actual freaking desktop on my desk. Stuff that I am working on, right now, that is a very, forefront of my mind, a very present thing, sits on my desk. If it sits there for a couple of weeks, I go, okay, I'm obviously not doing anything with this right now, and I file it away somewhere else. I put it in a different folder somewhere in the operating system and stuff like that. And so my desktop virtually is pretty much empty most of the time. There's one or two things on there, and that's it.
The only thing that's on my desktop on my new Mac is the icon for my external hard drive.
Yeah.
And because it won't go away unless I unplug it.
Yeah, well, you can actually turn those off. You can turn that off.
But I'm okay with it being there because, but that's the thing. Nothing is stored on my computer. It's all on that external hard drive. So
128 gigs of internal storage. Woohoo!
Yay.
But
But yeah, I'm the same way. It's like I try to keep my desktop on my computer as clean as I can.
And I think most people honestly probably would do that. If
I know
they
some people that
could.
definitely don't. Ugh.
Oh yeah, lots of people don't do that. I think
I
that
twitch when I see their monitors.
if Live Tiles gave them the functionality, like the ability to get rid of that more easily, then I think they might do it less.
Yeah.
That said, I don't know if these icons are going to do that.
Well,
it almost looks more like an app drawer than anything else.
Kind of just your quick buttons that you need. Instead of having it on your desktop, you have your start. It looks like you're just taking your icons you'd have on your desktop and just moving it there.
Right. But
Which
you can
is
also
fine.
store files on your desktop. Can you just drop files into here as well?
I don't know. But it sounds like what it is. Like I said, it's either that Modern OS or Windows Lite that they're going to try and push on wherever all their devices surface just to be better, and which makes sense. With my take on it, I didn't mind the tiles. Okay, I've lived in the universe. I had the phone. I get it.
Yeah.
But after a while, they're never up to date unless you click on it, or click the start menu. And so I click it, and I have to give it a second. And then it's like say a Facebook app or something. It's like, oh, ting ting, you got all these notifications, and then that goes away because I've already looked at them.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, the live tiles makes more sense if it's like a widget you can put on your home screen.
Yes.
That's where it actually makes sense. Which is why on the phone it was extremely usable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, there's a guy that I work with that has an Android phone now, but when he was on Windows almost as long as you, Wes, I mean, you know him.
Yep.
But when he got his Android phone, I downloaded a launcher that looks exactly like the Windows launcher because he liked the live tiles, and it works.
No, they were great.
And on a phone, it's great. On a desktop, not so much. And that's why Windows 8 was awful. Because on a desktop, that didn't make any sense.
One of a few reasons.
Well, true.
Yes. Took away the start button. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't care so much about that.
But there.
I didn't care so much about the start button as much as just the tiles right there on your face all the time. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But as a small widget that you can customize really easily, it would make sense. But just customize in the start menu, customize it better. And it's not super difficult to do in the start menu. It's just not like right up front easy for most people. You have to kind of think about it a little bit.
Well, and then some of them you'd want to have bigger. So you can't. They only get 2 sizes. But other things that is like a Candy Crush Saga gets like the giant space.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm like, why? So I wish that it was just better.
Yeah.
Like a better iteration of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, anybody that installs it probably doesn't even change anything now. Like, they just, there's the whatever, move on and do my regular start button stuff. But if they had, like you said, I think that would actually be pretty cool to be able to put the widget up there and there it is. But,
yeah. Or even if it was in like the little notification tray that they have on the side.
Yeah.
Throw a widget into that does the same thing. That you can, again, customize and add what you want.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But just as the start menu, it's just weird. And that's why they've kind of reverted back to the regular start menu with these on the side of that.
Yeah.
And I don't even look at the live tiles when I go to my start menu on my laptop.
Most people don't.
If I'm going to the start menu, it's either to shut the computer down or to open up an app that's not on my desktop or not pinned to my taskbar.
Right.
And I just look for the app. I just scroll down until I find it. I don't look.
There it is. Boom. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's probably what most people do. Because, again, live tiles in the start menu are just, it's like, oh, there's a lot going on right there, and it's making me have a seizure.
and granted, I've messed with it to make it look better to my eyes, which helps. But like I said, just update. It just sucks at updating. I have to click the start menu, and then they update, but then realize, oh, he's already looked at this, and then clears it.
Right.
It's like, so, like I said, better iteration of it I think would have helped a lot. But also, yes, it can be ugly when you have all these things going doo 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 up and down and left and right.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, dear listener, if you wonder why your live tiles aren't there, that's probably why. If you are in the any Windows 10 Insider program, they just gave it to everybody. So
there you go.
Maybe I should go into that.
That be careful because this is early.
Is it worth joining the Insider program just to get rid of live tiles?
Almost.
I don't.
Almost.
I don't think it is, but I also don't really ever open my start menu.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I use my Windows PC for is playing games, and I just have the app, like the game launchers
right
sitting
there.
Yep. You know, I've got Steam, Battle.net, all that's just right on the desktop, and I just open that. launch the games from there.
Anyway, those are the main Microsoft things that we have this week. I do have some gaming things. How about you, Caleb?
Yes.
Okay.
I have some gaming news.
Why don't we go ahead and right into that? I actually wanted to talk a little bit about Mixer on there. So on here it says Mixer commits to community and kills the Mixer Create app.
Huh.
This is all in one article. Okay, so here we go.
Isn't that kind of contradicting
So
themselves?
wait a second. Are those two separate concepts?
Mm-hmm.
Like they did not commit to community by killing the Mixer Create app?
No. So that's one. These are two different concepts.
Okay.
In the same.
Okay,
So,
got it.
First thing, so a couple new things. They said a new streamer review system to improve validation and monitoring of new streamers on Mixer.
Okay.
A new toxicity screen system to give streamers information and control over interactions on their channel.
That's good.
An updated Mixer rules of user conduct to prohibit the distribution of terrorist content and violent extremist content.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Changes to monetization, enabling all streamers to participate in monetization on Mixer, starting first with Mixer Embers, and then following the channel's subscriptions and additional monetizing features over time.
Huh.
An overhaul of Mixer's streamer analytics to provide a new insight into stream health, viewer engagement, and audience understanding.
Yeah, Mixer actually needed that.
Yes. And a new streamer progression dashboard to clarify what steps streamers can take to progress and earn access to additional promotions, streamer perks, support, and monetization features on Mixer.
Okay.
So now it does say here that they are, to help focus on these investments in new programs and capabilities, we will occasionally need to make changes to existing capabilities and will always strive to share these changes with you in advance. The biggest change is Mixer is removing its Mixer Create app from the Android and iOS app stores and removing the ability to stream from that app.
Huh. Okay. So you're not going to be able to stream from iPhones anymore? Or from phones?
From phones. With that app.
So are they going to add the ability to stream to the other Mixer app?
I'm going to assume that they are going to try and push the companion app with your phone to your desktop and then stream from that. I think what it is... No. This is just me. This is what they want you to do.
Right.
But they haven't... They said this does not affect the main Mixer mobile app for viewers, and streamers can continue to use the main Mixer app as a companion experience to monitor chat during their broadcasts. This change is based on both the feedback and analysis of the actual usage across the Mixer community. For streamers who want to continue broadcasting directly from their mobile device, we recommend checking out the great mobile apps offered from the team at Streamlabs.
Yeah. Streamlabs, and there's another one. Oh man, what are they? I can't remember what they're called. There's a couple of different apps that will allow you to do multi-platform streaming, where you sign into that app, they pull it to their servers, and then from their servers they split it out to like 3 or 4 different streaming services, so you can stream simultaneously to Twitch and Mixer and YouTube and Facebook and so on.
I'm thinking what it was is in a nutshell, they may have just had a lot of too many toxicity people streaming from their phones like that had easy and then whatever content.
Could be. I mean, it also could just be that not that many people were using it and they figured it wasn't worth their time. Like,
that too.
That's a very distinct possibility, because you look at Twitch does not have the ability to stream from phones. They just don't care. And I think it's probably because not that many people use it. They would rather they're playing games. They're streaming from their console or from their computer or something like that. And then if they are doing the IRL stream type and whatever, and just sitting there having a discussion with their streaming group or whatever, their fans, they're not actually, like, that's not what they do all the time. What they do most of the time is stream games.
Right.
And so they're just kind of like, this is a one-off. This is an unusual thing. We're just taking a minute. We're doing this thing. They're probably at home. They're probably next to their computer. They're just using their webcam and so on and so forth. So, it makes sense. They probably don't get a lot of use with that app. So
it's too bad, because I used it every now and then. I mean, I didn't use it a lot, but like when I got the Mario Kart beta, I streamed that through Mixer, and it was kind of nice. Also, when like Alto's Odyssey first came out,
Yeah.
I streamed that on my phone as well. I mean, these new games that come to mobile that I like, that I want to play, I'll stream them because people want to watch those newer games and they want to see what they're like, especially beta ones like Mario Kart, that not very many people have.
Right.
So for me, I mean, that's the only way that I'm going to stream. So I guess I'm not going to stream it, which is fine. I didn't do it very often, but that was the only option that I had. Easy option that I had. So, but I don't care that much. It's just kind of,
Yeah,
it's interesting. I mean,
I used it. If I was going to stream, that's how I did it. I don't game on my computer, so I'm not going to stream like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to connect my phone to my computer somehow to be able to do something, because that's going to be a pain in the butt.
Well, I don't know. That was the first thought of, well, maybe you could do it this way.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like they said, there's Streamlabs, there's other
Right.
things to
Yeah.
do, so.
The other app that I was trying to think of, it's Mob Crush.
Okay.
They also have that functionality in there.
So yeah. So you can still be able to do this. It's just Mixer's trying to probably tighten their screws, get things better for the.
I mean, I get on a business point, it makes complete sense because I'm sure not very many people did use it.
Right.
Like I said, when I did, it wasn't very often. It was just every now and then when a new game came out I wanted to play, I would do it. But for the most part, I didn't. So I get it. It makes sense that because they're just they didn't really maintain it, but they're maintaining an app that very few people are going to use. Yeah. So
there you go. There's that. Let's go ahead and move on. Something I found interesting. Microsoft is kicking Cortana off the Xbox One.
Wait, does that mean she's not going to be in any more Halo games?
I was just wondering.
I highly doubt that.
Oh.
Now, says they are moving away from on-console experiences to cloud-based assistance experiences. This means you can no longer talk to Cortana via your headset. However, you can use the Xbox skill for Cortana on your Cortana app on iOS, Android, and Windows, or Harman Kardon Invoke speaker. See, that one was me because I have one. I'm the only one in the world. And to power your Xbox One, adjust volume, launch games, apps, etc. But just as you can do that with any Amazon-enabled device. I didn't want to say the word. So
right.
With that. So basically, instead of me telling Cortana directly on the Xbox or the mic, it'll be on my phone or somewhere else to control the Xbox that way. They said that Microsoft began scaling back its support for Cortana in its core consumer platforms last year and specifically started adding support for third-party personal digital assistants like Amazon, Windows, and Xbox. With this change, Cortana will no longer be integrated with Xbox than what Amazon's is, and assumed to give recent changes to Windows 10 that will happen on the PC and desktop as well. But they're also said that they are going to continue improving and evolving the Xbox skill across supported digital assistants. That is Amazon's and Cortana and Google Assistant, Siri, and Bixby.
What?
Wow. They must be the only ones.
To give that, so you can have that Xbox. So now the Xbox skill will be in your digital assistant is what it is. So there's not going to be the assistant talk to Cortana to the Xbox. It's now going to be the skill to talk to the Xbox. Right. It's basically what is happening.
So listener, if you have a Samsung phone and you accidentally activate Bixby, you can at least now ask Bixby to do stuff for your Xbox.
Yeah, because it has its own button. What's this? Oh, yeah. Dang.
I have never actually talked to anybody that deliberately used Bixby, ever. Like, everyone I know is all like, yeah, I occasionally accidentally push that button, and he pops up. I'm like, go away.
So, cool, I think. I know a lot of people use Amazon's platform. A lot of people use Google's platform, which, cool, you got something else you can control.
I get that, but it's like, why not just leave it on device? Because I don't know, it just seems like it's going to take longer to do what you want to do if that's the case. It's not going to be as fast because it's not on device.
You know, this might be another case of Microsoft has looked at it and gone, we are really not going to be inconveniencing that many people by removing this functionality because hardly anybody uses it.
Right.
I mean, that's true. Do you still have regular voice commands on the Xbox?
Yeah, you'll still have like the regular.
Okay, I mean that's kind of what I was thinking at the same.
Because it actually started with just you saying, "Hey Xbox,"
right?
And then they put Cortana on it, and now they're probably going to go back to just Xbox. But they're opening it up to where any digital assistant can.
Right.
So now you can, if you link your Google with an Xbox skill, you'd be like, hey, turn my Xbox on. Turn an Xbox on and put it to Netflix or whatever. So, cool. I mean,
it's interesting.
Even I, as a Windows user, I never use it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Never use Cortana at all. You know what sucked is sometimes I'd be in the middle of a game and she'd hear something and she'd go off and be like, hey, is it? She'd side load and be like, hey, is this what's happening? I'm like, no, Cortana, go away. Like, I'd hear that with my brothers and I. Like, some of them were like, go away, Cortana. Like, so it was funny, but no, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, because I know, like I said, know a lot of people that have the other assistants, and there you go. You can have the Xbox skill and control it with your assistant. Yay. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Doom, shall we? Doom. Hey, did you know in celebration of the 25th anniversary of the first Doom, Bethesda Game Studios has released Doom, Doom 2, and Doom 3 on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. But also, the first two Doom games will be released on Android and iOS.
I mean, considering that my phone is about 100 times more powerful than the computers that they had to play the game in 1992, that seems like a no-brainer, but wow, that's going to be weird.
Now, is this going to be released before Mixer Create goes away?
Probably. It's released today.
Ah, perfect.
Oh, I'm downloading that right now.
Yes, I'm going to go and do that.
So, now, let me look here. They may cost. Now, it does say that I researched this for the Xbox, so I don't know about the Google or iOS marketplace. The first one is $5. The second one's $5. The third one is $10. They're all separate, and they re-released them. So now, because before they had the release for last generation, Doom 1 and Doom 2 was for the Xbox 360 era. PlayStation 3 had it as well. But now this is a brand new re-release. And I tried to find any more information on here, and it actually says on each one of these there are additional levels that Bethesda, id Software, and the community have created for Doom 1, Doom 2, and I didn't check actually for Doom 3. I apologize. But those first two, you actually get like a bunch of more maps that are harder, kind of fun to play on there. So not only do you get that, you get the updated versions. Cool. But also, remember, you can use your controller on your phone if you have a Bluetooth controller.
So, it is $4.99 on the Play Store.
There you go.
I would assume it's probably the same.
Same, yeah.
Yeah,
Same
I'm assuming it's all for each one.
Yes, for
I just
each
looked
one.
up the first one, but probably.
And it's also got an age rating of 17+, despite the fact that the quote-unquote graphics are straight up terrible.
Well, anyone knows what Doom is, and yeah.
Although
from the screenshots,
this one does have a lot of 1-star reviews on Android. That's not fun.
It's actually
really?
got overall a 4-star ranking
overall is.
Oh my gosh! Out of like 1,004 reviews.
Wow.
On iOS App Store, it's got 4 stars.
The regular Doom on Android has 3.4 stars out of 212 reviews. A lot of those are 1-star.
Why take away multiplayer? Oh, there's no multiplayer. That's kind of a bummer. If you could do local multiplayer, that would be amazing.
That would be dope.
Good.
I do know that on the Xbox versions, and I'm going to assume PlayStation, I have not looked, that you can do I know on the Xbox, you can do your local and online co-op and deathmatch on there. So I do know those can. But they did release those. I thought it was cool. And I saw this article actually this morning. They released it this morning, and they are on there. And if you want to revisit Doom, or if this is your first time wanting to check this out and you've heard a lot about it, it's not bad for $5 to just kind of see what the whole craze was of this when did it come out? 1990. Anyway, this 90s shooter.
These reviews are from 5 years ago.
You have the right one? Because it does say the first two Dooms have also been re-released on Android and iOS.
All of the reviews on the Google Play Store are from this.
The
like
screenshots say Doom 25 in them, like 25th anniversary of Doom stuff.
Maybe they just kind of
Yeah, maybe it was just an update.
They probably had an update on them then.
Yeah, it could be.
Why not? Take a look at them, check them out.
Yeah, these reviews are from like the past couple of days.
Yeah, some of them were from the past couple days.
Most of these.
That's interesting. I might have to check that out just because. But I also just noticed, just realized now when I went looking for Doom, that Hyperlight Drifter has apparently been released on iOS. I might have to. I might have to play that instead. I don't know.
Why not?
Just buy them all.
Buy them all. Give them more of your money.
Yeah.
But in celebration of the Doom Eternal that's coming to November 22nd, isn't that Thanksgiving Day?
Oh, close to 24th. No, what is it this year? It's always like the 22nd to the 24th.
Yeah, true.
But I don't know exactly what day it falls on this year.
Anywho, but it is fun if you just want to be on deathmatch or complete the game with co-op. It's actually really fun. I've done it before and just old nostalgic. Enjoy. Anyway, that's the news that I have on gaming there. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the torch over to Spend Love.
All right. Oh my gosh, it's burning me. It was a literal torch.
I held it too long.
It's a literal torch. Okay, anyways. So I have a couple of pieces of gaming news I want to talk about. First off, Overwatch. We never talk about Overwatch.
No.
So I'm going to talk about Overwatch a little bit now.
In fact, it was about an hour since we last talked about Overwatch in the Overwatch League.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Overwatch. There's a new Overwatch hero that has been announced.
Yes.
Name of Sigma.
Yep.
Is this guy's name. He is
Sigma no
from
shoes.
the Netherlands. And yes, he has no shoes. He's a crazy person. Straight up insane. But not wild fun crazy like Junkrat is. He's straight up psychotically unbalanced and murderous. Scary crazy, which is actually kind of interesting. He's kind of cool. So what he is, he's a shield tank with gravity powers. So he's actually kind of like imagine Reinhardt crossed with Orisa crossed with second gen Symmetra.
Wow.
Is kind of where he sits.
Yeah.
So when I say shield tank, he's got a Reinhardt style shield that takes a lot of punishment, is rectangular, but he can shoot it out away from himself like Orisa does and place it in the world, but he can shoot it out at any angle like Symmetra, second gen Symmetra could with her shield. And so it's kind of interesting. So you can angle it up like Reinhardt can and then shoot it away from you however far you need it to go, like Orisa can, but instead of falling back to the earth before it deploys, it just deploys as soon as it leaves you and then just drifts up into the air, and you can stop it and it'll just hang there and then you can recall it. So it's kind of an interesting change up to the way the shield works and allows some unique things to happen. Then, like I said, he's got gravity-based powers, which means his ultimate is, it's kind of like a cross between Graviton Surge and Doomfist's ult. It's a little bit like that. We're getting to the point now where there's so many heroes that everything is a cross of something at this point. We are getting into MOBA territory with the number of heroes in this game. So I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. But he's on the PTR right now. If you're on a PC, you can go try it out and see whether or not you like him. I have not played him yet. I'm not a great shield tank player. I'm pretty terrible with shield tanks. When I'm playing a tank, I'm playing Zarya, Roadhog, or D.Va, and you'll recognize those names as not having shields. But he's there. I think it's kind of good to get another shield tank into the game, because up to this point we've had, Winston's bubble, Reinhardt standing there with his big shield, and then Orisa that kind of has her own little bits of utility and stuff, but it's nice to have that shaken up a bit.
Yep. Definitely brings some interesting play when you can do that. You can definitely on some alts be like, no.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing that Jeff, when he was talking about, Jeff Kaplan from the Overwatch team, was talking about it in the announcement video. He pointed out that, with Reinhardt, for instance, if Pharah starts ulting on you, you can throw up your shield, but she's just going to smash through it. Like she just bashes through it and then kills you, and there's nothing you can do about it. This dude, he pushes the shield toward her. And if you stop it in the right place, before the shield goes down, she's going to suicide on the shield with the number of rockets blowing up right in her face. And, so there's some interesting stuff that can be done with that. And also, being able to, with Reinhardt, you can throw up your shield to protect against a sniper or something across the map. But if your teammates scoot a little bit to the side, then Widow can get around that shield pretty easily, or she can reposition to the side and get around that. Whereas this dude can just toss the shield all the way across the map and stop it right in front of her. And she can't. What am I going to do now? There's a shield here. She has to move. And, so there's some interesting gameplay there. His ultimate looks really odd. Like I have not experienced it yet. I haven't been on the PTR yet. And so I don't know what it's like to be caught in that. But it throws you up into the air where you're basically floating, sitting duck, like in a graviton surge, kind of like, and the enemy team can just shoot you like skeet. And then it throws you back down onto the ground with a big crash that does a whole bunch of damage. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I think so. Especially with the new meta coming.
Oh, yeah. Which is actually already at play in the Overwatch League. Like, they have rolled that into the competitive play for the Overwatch League for this stage.
I bet that's what's thrown people off.
Oh, yeah. Stage 4, the role lock has been really interesting. And that's why the Gladiators beat New York Excelsior.
Well, they haven't played with that. So...
Yep. It's been really interesting to watch. Okay. Last piece of gaming news, and I guess last piece of news all around. The RTX 2080 Super that released. We've talked about RTX cards. We've talked about the Radeon 5700 cards. We have talked a lot about graphics cards over the past few. And I'm just going to go ahead and echo every other tech reviewer on the planet with my thoughts on the 2080 Super. This is the most boring pile of crap I've ever seen, and I'm not in any way excited about it. It's a straight replacement for the 2080. Like, the 2080 is no longer going to be manufactured and sold. It's now just the 2080 Super. It's a 4 to 8% improvement in performance. And honestly kind of makes me feel like the 2080 was intentionally gimped at release.
For this.
Right. So that they could release this later. Just because they didn't have any competition in the high-end space from AMD. And that, that sucks. That's the reality of it. We talked earlier about how capitalism can be a good thing, but only when there's competition. And when there's not competition, you end up with something like this. So if you bought a 2080, I'm sorry, for like $100 less, you can now get... Because that's the thing. The Founders Edition card now costs the actual MSRP of the card instead of $100 more than the MSRP of the card. You could get 2080s for $700 before from third-party board manufacturers, but now NVIDIA's 2080 Super actually costs $700 instead of $800.
Dang it.
So, yeah, for a 4 to 8% improvement, I don't know. NVIDIA, I'm bored. Like, sorry, seriously, guys.
Yeah.
You're Intel of like 3 years ago, basically. You are boring me. I am bored with you. And it's not entirely their fault. From a business standpoint, they're not doing anything wrong. We just need AMD to actually get in there and compete with them at the high end so that
they're getting there.
They're working their way up. They are working their way up. So
as someone that uses NVIDIA and Intel, I'm excited
feels a bit like a mistake
that AMD is ramping up. Like,
yes,
because like we talked about,
push these companies.
Yes, please
push them. It's been working. We're finally going to get 10 nanometer Intel chips as a result of AMD's work, and hopefully we will get some exciting stuff to come out of NVIDIA as a result of AMD's work as well. And honestly, RTX is pretty exciting. Don't get me wrong. That is incredible technology. Real-time ray tracing is a big deal.
Yeah, it
is. But it is way too expensive. The only card that can reliably do real-time ray tracing at playable frame rates in video games is the RTX 2080 Ti. And that thing starts at $1,100. I can build an entire fully competent gaming rig for less than half that price.
Yes.
It's insane.
Not only that, not many games are utilizing it.
Yeah.
That ray tracing.
Yeah,
so it's
like the technology is totally there, but I think they rushed it to market and they're asking way too much money for it.
Yes.
But they can afford to ask that much money for it because AMD isn't competing at the high end. So, yeah, that's my whole deal. It's not necessarily that NVIDIA isn't doing anything exciting at this point. It's just they're just charging way too much money for it.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. So,
for a 7% boost.
Yeah.
No thanks.
It's ridiculous. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm hoping that the hardware space for high-end graphics cards improves in the near future. Not because I'm in that market. I'm in the mid-range market. Like my next video card, it's gonna be a toss-up between like the 1660 Ti and the RX 5700 and the 2060 Super. Like it'll be in that range there, depending on what features I want and what performance I want. They're all slightly different price points. So that's where I'll be shopping, and there is competition there, and I'm quite happy about that.
Mm.
By the time Thanksgiving, Black Friday rolls around, I'm probably going to be able to get a really good price on one of those 3 cards. But I feel bad for the people at the high end. I just honestly do.
Yeah, mid-range is definitely where to go.
Yep.
So.
Yep. But yeah, that's all the gaming news I have.
Awesome. Landon, do you have anything for us for gaming?
Nope.
Nope, but he did download Doom.
Well, not yet.
But he's going to.
I'm debating if I want to spend the $5 on a game that I can't really play because I don't have a controller, and I don't want to play it on touch screen.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
No, that's a fair point.
I did think about it though. I'm like, ooh.
Just to hear the old noises alone.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that.
Or just
think
that
they've
old
ported
soundtrack.
that to Apple TV? Because
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Do you remember? I remember
Party at Caleb's.
Yeah, I remember. What was it? The Asus. It was a tablet when tablets were like really huge. It was the Asus Transformer.
Yeah,
I got that, and I remember my screensaver was the Doom guy, and he'd walk around and he would shoot enemies. And then I could actually tap on the enemy, and he'd go towards it and shoot a rocket or something. And
Nice.
like I thought that was the coolest thing. Like it was just a screensaver that it would just and go find the enemies. I thought it was fun. So it just reminded me of that when on Android. I was like, I wonder if I could find that again. That was actually really fun. I know, totally time waster, but anyway, I think we're done. Thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us, whether that's just listening, whether that's streaming our podcast, watching us on our YouTube channel, or writing to us, or getting a hold of us somehow to ask us questions of anything about tech or anything else at all. Really, I'm sure Caleb here could give you any kind of rant on anything.
I have opinions.
He's got opinions. So, anyway, we thank you again and have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.